For me, as a professional and a practitioner in the field at the moment, I think violence against women and girls is worse than I've ever seen it. It's prevalent, it's systemic, it's happening everywhere. The level of violence and threats and danger is rising and increasing daily.
This particular project came about because we were working on a really incredible exhibition about Lavinia Fontana, a 16th century painter and an absolute trailblazer. But we thought about, well, if we're going to do a really big project, it has to be to support women in some way.
We needed a partner, we needed somebody that, or a group or an organisation that would really understand where we were coming from and come on board with us and accept that we were trying to find our way through this, that we are not the experts in domestic violence by any stretch of the imagination, and we also recognise that those experts and Saoirse as a service, they have huge amounts of resources in place for the women that they work with and for the staff, and they work every day in and out to keep everybody safe. And really we were just hoping that in some way we could come in and provide something that would provide another opportunity, layer something on top, maybe provide another slightly different perspective. The staff of Saoirse, you know, I suspect those women never leave their minds. And they have an absolute responsibility to those women, and we have an absolute responsibility to respect that also. We started this project really by going into the spaces in Saoirse, into the refuges, into the communities where people were and where they felt more comfortable, and we went into those spaces.
There can be a lot of stereotypes around, particularly what refuge is. They probably think accessing refuge, there's going to be, you know, this big communal space and we're all sharing on bunk beds and there's loads of women and children, and it's on the contrary to that. It's the actual polar opposite. It's very organised, very structured. It's a home away from home, and sometimes I don't feel comfortable using that analogy because home is where the violence is and home is where the coercion can take place. But we are really trying to recreate in our accommodation services somewhere where women and children feel safe, feel heard, feel validated, and can actually potentially get a good night's sleep. And we'll have expert, trained, caring practitioners to be able to hold them in their experience and help them navigate their way out of the situation that they found themselves in.
Obviously the people that are coming in here are in active trauma. You know, they have had to uproot their kids, or if they haven't got children, they've had to uproot their own lives. A lot of times having to leave pets behind. I think especially being here in, you know, the domestic violence service, some of the things that, you know, the women have experienced, they can't speak about. There's no words. If you're experiencing domestic violence, you know, it's in your body, it's in your memories, it's in your thoughts. My job as an art psychotherapist is to make sure that the women feel extremely safe when they're working with me, and having just an hour to sit down in quiet, that you can focus, you can let your brain focus on what's in front of you. It's just you sit down, you and that lump of clay. And that when it's safe for that memory and that emotion and that trauma to come up, it can come up and it can be held in the artwork.
We're now at a point where, having gone out to crisis accommodation, we now have women coming here on a regular basis, completely independently, to participate in sessions that we're running, but also going into the galleries themselves, engaging with themselves. They've come and brought their children themselves, and that's where we want to be. We want to be at a point where anybody from any background, from any situation, can walk through those doors and feel safe and feel welcome.